Hi everybody, all my followers, be welcome to another video. Right, this video today is on this 2009 Mercedes ML320. When I thought this was ready to go to be delivered, to be picked up, the guy just asked me to look at another problem with this. Now, and the reason why I've showed you the starting was because, yeah, sometimes it takes a tiny bit to start. It cranks a few times. This time started really quick, really well. And the reason why I want to show you is because, as you might have seen on one of the previous videos on this car, I don't know if it was the video for the programming or if it was the video for the rear sum fault. On one of the videos, I remember when I edit the videos, you have seen that. So you start this, is the only thing coming up on the car now is this. So when you start the car, that symbol comes up after a few seconds. Now, a lot of you guys out there that work on cars or are familiar with this warning, this usually refers to the auxiliary battery. So a lot of the Mercedes out there, guys, they have two batteries. They have the main battery and they have a tiny small battery. Usually cars, they have them somewhere in the front there. This particular model is in a different place, which I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, I rang the owner to pick up the car, and well, if you've seen the other videos, you know the car came for one issue. Then I mentioned that I noticed another problem with the car, if you want me to have a look, because while I was there it was easy to obviously diagnose, which he said yes please. And then the day I rang him to pick up this, he asked me if I could look at these as well. So I explained to him that sometimes the car would take a little bit to start, and I said, look, I can look at it. I've noticed that sometimes the car would crank for a little bit before he actually starts. And he said, well, do you think it needs a battery? I said, possibly. And the guy just brought me that battery. I don't think that's the battery we're gonna have to replace, but nevertheless, guys, I want to test the battery, the main battery as well, and see how good it is. And it is, again, it is a shame that he didn't do what he usually does when he takes that little bit to start. I was really keen to show you. Anyway, what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this around, put it halfway through the garage, because I think this is a little bit too tall to get into my garage. But we're gonna just turn it around, put it under the roof in there, because I don't think this weather is gonna hold for too long, and we're gonna have to take a few bits off in order to get to the batteries, and hopefully test them and go from there. I don't think it's going to be nothing rocket science, but nevertheless, I just thought to take you through, even because some of you are going to see that on one of the videos, and I know someone is going to ask what was wrong with it, or why I didn't fix that, or something like that. I was not asked to look at that until the day I told them to pick it up, so is what it is. Anyway, with no further ado, let's kind of turn these around and get to these batteries. Okay, so let's gonna start by access these batteries. The batteries in the UK on the right-hand drive module are underneath the driver's seat. Obviously, I believe if the car is a left-hand drive, they're gonna be on the passenger side. But here is on this side, so we're gonna most likely to have a better access to everything. Probably I'm going to actually remove the seat, even because I have a feeling. Let's just give it a test, but I don't think you can really get to the auxiliary battery without actually removing the seat. I don't think it gives you very good access. No, it doesn't. Yeah, the auxiliary battery, yeah, is right at the front. This battery actually looks quite new to me, the main battery, but the other battery, I believe, yeah, the other battery, you can't really see it, but it's right there. Let me see if I can. There it is. Can you see it right there in the corner? So that's the one I want to get to, but we're gonna have to remove the seat. So let's gonna do it. Okay, I just decided to pause here just to quickly take you through how to remove the seat, although surely you can figure that out. But obviously you take these covers here from the back. There's one here, one on that side. There is 2 bolts here. Then at the front, to remove the seat belt, you pull this cover off. So you pull this cover at the top and then you slide it off. Okay, there's a bolt in there for the seat belt. So as soon as you take the seat belt, then the seat will be free from the car. Then we need to, obviously, we're gonna have to unplug the seat, all the electric plugs underneath, and then you're gonna have to take this cover off. There we go. There we go. And then you have another 2 bolts right here. So we're gonna have to slide the seat all the way back again, but I want to take these first, because otherwise then this is going to be behind the pillar and then I can't take it off. Well, anyway, surely you can figure those things out for yourself. So so yeah, there's that bolt. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts you need to remove, and all the electrical connections underneath the seat. Okay, so the seat is out and I've already started to lift the carpets and start to take this cover off. But I just thought to stop here to obviously take you through a couple things. So the seat I put in there actually, but it's fine. Just remember guys, if you are going to turn the ignition on with the seat completely disconnected, you're gonna generate obviously airbag faults, so just bear in mind that. I'm not 100% sure if just by plugging everything back in you will clear the light. Some cars, even if everything is okay, if you have faults in the module, you need to delete them first. But I guess we'll see that later on. But what I decided to do as well before we go any further is see if we have any faults, because I do recall no faults came up when I've cleared the faults last time, but I can't remember if that was before or after I had the car running and the warning came up. So we're not going to do an auto scan. I'm just going to go quickly to the module that is responsible for monitoring these batteries, which I believe, or these small batteries, which I believe is the front sum, which actually leaves right here as well, on the floor, under the carpet here. So let's just quickly check if the front sum reports anything to do with this battery. If it does, then is a bonus, because then we know we are in the right track. There we go. Do we need anything else? No, we don't. So it says it's faulty or not installed. So either the battery is, well, I don't know. It could be a poor connection. It could be, I think there is a relay that controls this battery. So it could be a bad relay. Could be the battery itself that's just dead, really. The car is, so 2009, 19 is 13 years old. Probably is the original battery in there. The batteries don't last forever, as we all know. So we're going to now get this cover off, get to the batteries and move from there. Okay guys, quick correction. The sum is not there, he is here. I worked on one of these in the past and I should know these things, but yeah, so the rear sum lives, let me put the light on, lives underneath here. Okay, there it is. Over there I think is a sensor. Sorry guys, I think over there is a sensor that lives in there or something along those lines. Maybe a crash sensor or inertia sensor, something along those lines. Anyway, this is my battery. There it is, the tiny one. So we're gonna pull it out and give you a quick test. First, the main battery, guys, this looks like a new battery to me. As you can see, everything is dusty around here, and the battery, I didn't clean it. It's actually rather clean. Look, it is a little dust, but it's actually rather clean. It doesn't look like an old battery to me. So yeah, it doesn't look too bad, to be fair with you, and is more powerful than the one he brought me. This is a 820 amps. The other one is a 700 and something, I think. But it looks quite new, but we'll give it a test anyway. We're going to check all these connections for the tiny battery, pull it out, give it a test, and that's it. Okay, so the tiny battery is out. All you need to do is to remove one nut that is here, which goes on that bolt in there. Okay, and then you slide that way and you pull it out in that little tab in there. The battery itself has no date marked on it at all. You can see there part number. I think the part number is actually on this side. No, it's actually in there, I guess. It's going to be that N, maybe, I'm not sure. Anyway, it's the original battery. As you can see, there is no date that I can see anywhere. Even sometimes when you have that injected, mark on the injection of the plastic, I can't see that anywhere on this battery. So at least I could know roughly when the battery was made. But not even that. So but I'm gonna guess this is the original battery, but nevertheless, let's gonna test the main battery first, just to make sure. Let's get these out of the way. Okay, so this is no good straight away. That's no good straight away. Wow, this is no good. Is disconnected and we have 11.94 volts. That's bad. Okay, let's just give you a test. So battery test out of the vehicle because it's disconnected. Is a regular battery, and this is a N, and as I said is 820. It's gonna see another one that's coming off. Right, measured 11.93 volts. So he measured half of the amps, the crank amps, and state of charge 49. Am I gonna pull these out? State of health 49, state of charge 19, and 6.02 internal resistance. Right, this battery are these days, to me, I would replace it, and because he brought me one, I would definitely replace the battery. Let's see what we have on this. 10.71 volts. That's extremely bad. To be honest with you, 10.64 volts, and we just turned the car off. This battery is bad, and I'm sure that's what the system is detecting. Is a low battery, is a low voltage on this battery, and it kicks out the fault. So that's the battery we need. I'm not sure where I'm gonna get it. I'm just gonna ring Mercedes, ask them if they have this, because it's gonna be car parts. Most likely they will not have this sort of size, I guess. Let me just give a quick ring to Mercedes, see how much this costs, if they have in stock, and yeah, we'll go from there, really. Okay guys, and this is not going as planned. So let me take you through the following. So I rang the owner. He definitely wants me to change that battery. He actually acknowledged that if he leaves the car off for, let's say, a week, the car actually doesn't start. So he actually wants me to change the battery. I explained to him when I text him. This, as you can see here. I was quite clear to say the problem is the auxiliary battery. He brought me a big battery. Now over the phone he was not understanding what I meant by auxiliary battery. He was not aware that the car has two batteries on it. But nevertheless he wants me to change it while I'm here, so we're going to change this battery regardless. He's not in very good shape anyway. As for the small one, I rang Mercedes. Mercedes is closed. The local Mercedes here where I live is closed tomorrow. Today is too late to go there, and tomorrow they are closed for stock count. So that means I can't get the battery. I rang a local battery shop, if you want, if you will, and they reckon they can get me the battery for tomorrow. A genuine battery at a cost of 60 odd pounds plus VAT. It's a lot of money for such a tiny battery, but we really have no option. So all the other shops around here I rang, like local car parts shops, no one does the battery for this thing. So looks like we really have no option. So for the time, actually I'm waiting now for the guys to ring me back just to make sure they can get me the battery for tomorrow. They reckon around 10 o'clock. So we're not going to finish this video today, or finish the car today. But for the time being, we'll change this battery. We'll put the new battery in. And I think that's going to be it for now, really. So yeah, that's going to do it. That's going to replace the battery. I'm not going to take you through, really, guys. There's 2 bolts at the back, or 1 bolt at the back somewhere there, with a bracket. I don't know where the thing is now. Oh, there it is. The light. So there is 2 bolts right there at the back. So where are they? On the camera. So there it is. So there's 1 there, right there. There's one at the other end. And I believe is the only bracket on this battery. Yes, it is the only bracket. So we'll take those 2 bolts, 2 nuts, and that bracket comes off, and the battery comes off, and then we'll put a new one. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so stay on that side, and I will take you through the rest. Okay, so the battery is out. We're gonna clean that before we put the new battery in, which clearly someone didn't do last time. And I'm saying this because let me show you this. The battery we removed, which is this battery. Oh, come on. Which is this battery here. Okay, so it's an 8020, which was there. That one is a 740. Now, when I turn this battery over, I want to show you that this battery was actually manufactured. Oh, so the plastic case, can you see there, was manufactured on, what's that, February 2021. So that's when, no, February 2nd 2021. So that's when the plastic case, when this plastic case has been inject molded. So the battery maybe a couple of months after that, when they assembled the battery, I guess. So the battery is less than a year old. So I can only guess that the reason why this battery died this bad, or this quick, is because this battery most likely has been left to completely drain. That's the only explanation. And I know that will kill batteries. Well, anyone working on cars probably will know that. I know that because I'm suffering exactly the same problem on my van. I fitted 2 new batteries on it about 2 years ago, and because the van was usually just parked in front of my other house and I would never start the van pretty much, I left those batteries to completely die a few times. And now, unless I drive the van every 2 days, 3 days max, the van doesn't start. So I know it will kill batteries. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is. And yeah, and again, guys, even the owner confirmed, as I already said, if you leave the car for about a week or so, the car fails to start. So that battery is definitely bad. It might be useful for a car that you drive every single day or something like that, but as you probably imagine and already seen, I think this car is for sale. So obviously the guy wants to put everything right, which is obviously always a good thing. So yeah, I just thought to give you this little bit more information. Okay, guys, and I just thought I would take you a little bit through what I've done. Now I'm only going to share these for educational purpose or to share it with you. But if it was my car, I don't know yet what's going to happen, but we will have a look, and I will make sure I will post the results. I'll make sure I'll let you know the results. But so the small battery I've decided to do is I put the battery on charge for 2 hours on my battery charger, for about 2 hours, and after the 2 hours I've started to put some measurements. I've done some measures on the battery, and with my test light connected, which my test light draws about 650-700 milliamps, somewhere around there. I've connected it to the battery, and within about, I don't know, 5 minutes, if that, probably about 5 minutes, the battery was down to 5 volts. It died pretty much straight away. What I've decided to do is I've opened the battery, the top of the battery. This is a lead acid battery, by the way. So I've opened the battery to find out that the battery was completely dry, and I mean dry. Was nothing inside. Lead acid batteries obviously need to have the water in there for the reactions to take place, and the battery was dry. It was literally dry. It was nothing inside. So what I've decided to do, it might not gonna work, but what I've decided to do is I filled the battery with deionized water, which is the water that you're supposed to put on batteries. So I filled it up a little bit, not filled all the way up, but I put a little bit of water inside, covered all the cells inside, and I put the battery on charge. Again, the battery is now on charge for a good, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes now. And what I wanted to look is, I don't know how good it's going to come out on camera, I hope good enough, but what I wanted to look at is that inside the batteries you can see reactions are taking place, which is a good sign, because that might means that the battery is actually accepting charge. Okay, so I'm not gonna say this is gonna fix the problem. If this was my car and I would get some positive results, I would probably leave this battery in there for now. But I don't know how it's gonna turn out, so I guess I will test the battery again once it's fully charged, and we'll go from there. But if this was my car, I probably would attempt to leave it, even because those batteries, they don't seem to be too cheap, but I'll get to that once I get the new one. So I'll probably risk and would leave the battery, but because, again, as I mentioned already, this car is for sale, I'm definitely not going to put that battery back in, because if something happens and you know, a week later or 2 weeks later the battery doesn't accept the charge, then it's going to come back, and you know, all that good stuff. So yes, if it's your car and you want to try this, might be a good option to try. You have nothing to lose, and yeah, once that's fully charged, I'm going to retest the battery. I want to see how long it takes to discharge, see if we get any improvements, and I will report back. Right, good morning, guys. So, straight to this. As you can see, the battery was left charging all night, and we're going to do it a couple tests just to see how it is. But again, well, I'll take you through in a second. Okay, so after a little bit, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes or so, the battery stabilized at somewhere around there. It is still very slowly dropping down, because obviously this is still taking some juice out of the battery. Is a backlight on this, and obviously it's powering the tester. But we're going to do the same test again. Now remember, guys, that this battery is a 1.2 amp hour, and my test light is a 650 or 700 milliamps. So for this small battery, I know it's just a test light, but it's quite off a punch for a battery this small. If it was a big battery, obviously the test light won't make much of a difference, but on a battery like this, it will. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect the test light, and I'm going to do it for about 5 minutes. So let me just put it like that. It's going to start. So obviously we get the voltage drop straight away, so that's going to carry on dropping. It's going to stabilize, I don't know where, but it should stabilize around 11 point something, and then it's going to carry on dropping voltage, obviously, while we have the test light connected. And I'm going to leave it for around 5 minutes. As I said, guys, before, it didn't even took 5 minutes, to be fair with you, before we tried to resuscitate this battery. When the battery was completely dry, within less than 5 minutes I had 5 volts on the battery. So we're going to leave this for 5 minutes, and then the big telling is going to be how quick the voltage is going to recover, and to which voltage is going to recover to. So we're going to let it run for 5 minutes, and then we will see what happens. Okay, and over 7 minutes later, as you can see, we still have a quite good reading. So when we first put the load, went down to about 11.69, then went up to about 11.71, and then obviously as we left the load, oh, that's quite hot. As we left the load, obviously carry on dropping the voltage, now to about 11.61. I'm quite happy with our result, really. But the big tell now is going to be when I disconnect the test light. I want to see how quick it recovers back to its voltage. So we're going to disconnect the light, and look at that. It's just recovering back to whichever voltage that's going to be. And if it goes above 12 volts, it's going to be very good, and it already is. Now remember one thing, guys, that and just for comparison, a car when it's fully asleep should take a drain no higher than about 50 milliamps. Some cars a little bit more, 80 milliamps, and that's a car fully asleep. My test light ready, as I said, I might show you with the multimeter in a minute, just so you can see, is about 650 or 700 milliamps, if I'm not mistaken. So it's still recovering, but is already at 12.05 volts. I'm not gonna lie, guys, if this was my car, I would probably just leave this battery. I would just put this battery back in, and I'm quite confident that this would sort my problem, and this battery would last for a little bit longer now. I definitely would. Okay, just let me just quickly connect the light so I can show you the drain of my test light, and that's it, really. And again, I'm just probably wasting my time taking you through all of this, but I just thought it would be interesting to show you. Okay, I'm just gonna very quickly show you the drain of these test lights. So everything is connected, so we can look at the drain. So I'm gonna do that, and as you can see, 0.768 milliamps, so 680 milliamps. Okay, that's how much the drain is. But the battery recovers really quick, as you can see. So yeah, I would 100% trust this battery. But again, guys, this car is for sale, I think. And I don't know. The last thing I want is to put the battery, and then in a few months the battery goes again or whatever, and then is gonna come back. And you know, it's always a thing with batteries. So, but honestly, for myself and for you guys, if you are suffering this problem, and that's why I'm making the video like this, is, guys, you might be able to take a couple of years, a few years out of this battery. Who knows? I'm quite happy with these results. We're gonna plug it in on the car just to check one quick thing, really, because there is a menu. Actually, I'll show you later when I do have all the parts, because there is a menu I forgot to show you on the SEM. There is some live data that shows you the status, the state of the battery, and that's where you can see if it's this battery that is actually triggering that battery light on the screen, which most of the times it is, or probably it always is. But I forgot to take you through that menu. But as you can see, it recovers back to 12.08. If you remember, before we took that load for 7 minutes, the battery was at 12.20 something, I think it was. So it went down now to stabilize at 12.08. So I don't think that's too bad, to be fair. Okay, anyway, too much talking now. Let's gonna move on, try to get a battery for this and get installed, checked, etc. Okay, slightly change of plans. Looks like I'm not gonna go to Mercedes anymore. The battery costs, let me see if I get this right, £76 at Mercedes, brand new, genuine. But I rang the guy and I told him the price of the battery, and he doesn't want it. Now apparently this car, I spoke with the owner, so obviously the car has actually been sold already. There is 2 recalls at Mercedes, I told them already, on this car. One for the brake booster and another one for airbags, I think. I told the guy Mercedes they were really recommending to book the car ASAP to get this work done. So I told them. So when I spoke with the guy over the phone, I told him about that. But apparently, the car is already sold, and it's going to be picked up this afternoon. So I explained to him the situation with the battery, and he actually wants to put this same battery back in. He said, if you say the battery will might last, I will take your word for it. Just put it back in then. Just do what you got to do. So we're going to actually utilize the same battery. So it looks like all the work I've been doing on this battery was actually not totally wasted. So guys, let's gonna carry on and put this battery back in. Okay, the battery is now connected, ignition is on, and what I want to show you is that if we go, that's the menu I forgot to show you last time. If we go to the front SAM, it will actually tell you, just let it load, will tell you the status of the battery. So if we go live data, and now we go to onboard electrical system, if we go additional battery, that is going to show you if he's asking for the light on. There we go. So auxiliary battery voltage not checked because I haven't started the car yet. Additional battery says okay. Additional battery warning, which is that white battery symbol. Oh, come on, focus on the screen. It says not active. I'm not going to start. I'm going to leave it exactly where it is. So I'm going to turn the ignition off. Sorry. We're going to assemble the car back because I want that to check the battery voltage. I want the car to do that checks and to make sure everything is good. So let's gonna do it, assemble everything, and then hopefully wrap up this video. There we go, 12.1, look at that, 12.1 volts. So it's gonna go back, that's gonna clear these fault codes on the airbag and wrap up this video. Okay, just went through all the procedures to reset the run flat indicator, clear all the codes, the car is assembled, everything is good, there is no faults. One last check on these front SAM, guys, for the battery voltage. As you can see, there is no warnings for the battery anymore. And again, guys, it's up to you. I gave you the information, it's up to you what to do with it. If it was my car, I was more than happy to do what I've just done. In a car that's been sold, I would probably go and put a new battery. Yeah, the guy is happy that to leave it like this. I'm honestly as well, I think this battery, it will last. Guys, there is about 12 months delay on my videos, so if anything happens with this, if it comes back for another battery or whatever, go on the description below. I will update the description in case if this comes back. I'm quite confident that it will not, even because look at that, the battery is now at 12.3 volts. Obviously is charging at the same time, but I'm more than happy with this. I think this will last now. The battery behaved really well. Anyway, too much talking. What I thought was just an information showing all this stuff about the battery actually ended up being quite useful, because we left it as it is. Guys, with no further ado, I don't even know how I'm gonna edit this video, what's gonna come out of this. Anyway, with no further ado, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope there's some information here you guys can find useful, whatever. If you do have any questions, any comments, put them below, and like always, thank you for watching.